Great. Let's get started. Okay. So I have just put one of the quotes from the Buddha that I really like, right? I think just to drive the point about what we're going to be doing the next few days. So first of all, welcome everybody who's joined. I would like to start by congratulating you on taking the time out to invest in yourself, invest in your mind, right? So it's surprising how rarely we do that, how rarely we spend time cultivating what is really at the center of our experience, right? Our mind. So I'm really happy that we have uh, this group to practice meditation. Okay, so I'll give a quick introduction to myself. Today's session is broadly about just getting everybody acclimatized a bit about how we'll do the retreat. We'll do some basic starting instructions, and tomorrow is for you to start finding your feet. From tomorrow, we'll start digging into more about understanding how the mind works and how the practice of meditation actually helps us to get direct experiential insight into that. Right? So tomorrow onwards, the we'll start a little bit of the heavy lifting. I call it heavy lifting, but it will be a lot of fun. So the first thing that I'll request everyone is to just bring a smile on your face. This is a smiling meditation. I don't know if any of you has practiced any form of meditation before, but in this practice, we've found that smiling, keeping an uplifted and open mind is really, really crucial to our understanding as well as having fun with learning something new. Right. So I'd like everyone to just make it a point for the next few days. And it doesn't need to be a grin. You don't need to look goofy or creepy to the people around you. You need to know in your mind that you're smiling. Have a little smile like you would see on a Buddha statue often. Right. So that's the first thing. So let me just quickly introduce myself. I'm Rajiv. I've been practicing this meditation for over 5 years now. I've spent over close to almost 2 decades working in the tech startup ecosystem of India. I've built my own companies. I've worked with large scale companies that went from startup to IPO. And around 5 years back, very serendipitously, I came across this meditation practice. I had no experience with meditation, and I had again, I was so caught up with everything that was happening in daily life that I didn't really think. I always thought sometime in the future would be a good time to explore the mind more, invest more in myself. And thankfully for me, that time, that event happened very accidentally and very serendipitously. And I today I'm like a person who sees a really good movie or eats a really good dish and then goes about recommending that. Not just because you're getting a commission for it or anything, it's just because of the joy of having tasted something that is really sublime, right? Of having found something that really changes the state of mind. And the great thing that I found was I think a lot of us have an impression that people who meditate tend to be antisocial, tend to cut themselves off from society, and the typical images that we see is see yogis and sadhus in Himalayan caves. One of the great things I found that I was able to continue in the kind of professional and personal roles that I had been doing before my meditation practice, and I actually found my experience of that was extremely good, and my effectiveness was also extremely good. So that's one of the reasons that I really feel motivated to share it with more people. I've been teaching this practice for almost 4 years now, and I train directly with Bhante Vimalaramsi. Uh, Bhante Vimalaramsi was like another version of the Buddha for this time. One of the great things about the Buddha that is talked about is that without a teacher, he managed to figure out things about the mind, things about human experience, things about suffering from scratch through investigation of his own mind, testing of different techniques. And what happened in the 2.5 millennia after that is a lot of that got very institutionalized. Commentaries upon commentaries were used to figure out what to do. For a long time, Buddhism was practiced as a religion and not as an individual development practice, more as a group, an individual developing as part of a larger group that follows certain, kind of practices. And over the last couple of 100 years, there was a resurgence in meditation, in personal development through practice, something that the Buddha talks about a lot in. If you actually look at the discourses that are attributed to the Buddha, not commentaries, the Buddha actually says the most important thing is to develop your mind, right? So over the last couple of 100 years, there's been a resurgence of that, but unfortunately, a lot of those practices did get heavily based on commentaries. And Bhante Vimalaramsi actually went back to the original things that Buddha talked about and experimented with a lot of things in his own practice, in his teaching. And he managed to really distill what was it that the Buddha taught that got so many people excited, that changed so many lives, to the fact that even so long after the Buddha's passing, we are still learning from it. In fact, a lot of the latest neuroscience and psychiatry is understanding that a lot of the things that the Buddha taught are what is going to take humans forward in an effort to improve the quality of mind and body. And there's a lot of very interesting research happening on that. So Bhante Vimalaramsi put together a practice by looking at the basics, testing everything out in his own experience. He was convinced that it actually made a huge difference to his life, his state of mind. And then over the next many years, he perfected how to actually share it with other people. Right. So the again about the Buddha, the great thing was not only did he achieve this understanding for himself, he found a way to actually share it with people who don't necessarily have to go through the struggle that he did. Right? And Bante did the same thing much later. He figured out what was missing. He honed his own practice. He understood the suttas, found what was really the heartwood or the crux of the teaching, managed to bring it in, experience the joy of learning those teachings, tasting those teachings for himself, and also figured out a way to share it with students in a way that they can make effective progress. Because unfortunately, the biggest problem that a lot of people who've been following the Buddha across the world face is that the Buddha didn't give like a prescriptive manual. Okay, this is step one, step two, step three. So the practice is embedded in a lot of discourses that the Buddha taught. And I have been very grateful to Bhante Vimalaramsi for having shared this practice. And I'm trying to share it onward because I think this is the most fundamental education of anything. If there is one thing in life that everyone should learn, it is to understand how their mind works and how it creates both happiness and suffering. So that's what the idea is, to look at that. So that's what this retreat is going to be about, and we will go through in detail a lot of the different things that are happening in our mind, how they happen. So we are not concerned too much about the why, the specific instances in your life why it happened, but we want to look at the process, how it happens, and the why those things can be something that you can explore for yourself, understand for yourself, and change in your own life. So the process, the mechanisms, how mind works, how experiences are formed, that is what we'll be looking at. And that's why, for example, this is something Bhante Vimalaramsi used to say for himself. He used to call himself a guide and not a teacher, because the teacher is going to be you. You're going to be given what we are going to share with you is the tools to investigate your mind, to understand your experiences, and you will be actually working on teaching yourself how your mind works through your own direct experience. That's a bit of the context. And again, welcome everybody for joining in this retreat and for in taking this time out to invest in your growth. Okay. So, like I said, today we will keep it very simple. We will just get started with a little bit of the practice. So, there was a prep kit sent to all of you. I don't know if you have gone through it. If not, do go through that by tomorrow. And today we'll just do beginning instructions, and we'll also share a handout for that beginning instruction so you can read it when you have a bit more time. Okay. So let's start with that. We'll start with a very brief exercise. Before that, I'll just give a context. So meditation is universally associated with breath. That is the image that all of us have. The object of meditation we'll be using here is slightly different. It is called Metta, which is derived from the root, which is related to the root Sanskrit word Maitri, or a feeling of friendship or goodwill, right? So we'll be using this as an object of meditation. This is one of the four Brahma Viharas, or four sublime states of mind. So these are states of mind where you don't feel powerless, helpless, diminished. You feel expansive, you feel generous, you feel powerful, that you can actually make a positive change in the world, right? So this is the first of the feelings. We will talk about the other Brahma Viharas later through this retreat. So we use Maitri as an object of meditation. This helps in a couple of things. It helps keep your mind uplifted. It helps you to have fun with the process. And also, if you already practice a lot with breath, so you will have some old habits. And we are going to be sharing a slightly different way of practicing things, and that it'll be important that you practice things according to that. Okay. So this different object of meditation will also help you to shed those old habits and use the practice that we'll be sharing. Again, for the duration of this retreat, these 10 days, I would suggest that you follow the instructions very carefully. So it's like a recipe, just uh, making any change, a smallest change in one place can actually affect the outcome a lot. So to make sure the time that you have invested, the energy that you'll be investing over the next few days gets you the best results, I just request you to follow the instructions very carefully as it is. And don't use any of your older practices. You can always go back to that after the retreat, right? Okay. So the first exercise now, loving kindness or Maitri. This is, if you've not used it before, you may be a little confused about what this is. So we'll start with a small exercise to kind of explore this feeling, find it, generate this feeling within us. Okay. So the first thing to do is just think of a happy memory. Okay. So time that you were really happy. So when I talk about happy, I don't necessarily mean just an exhilarated kind of joy. Happy where you have absolutely no friction with the world, no complaints. You're just completely content in that moment. You're satisfied, you're at ease, you have no complaints, no fear, right? Sometime that you're very happy in life. And typically, again, you may find some experiences in your uh, past that speak to you in this way. But for a lot of people, it is time spent with family, time spent with friends, playing with your pets if you have any, or time playing with your children, with a newborn infant, whether it's your own child, whether it's a nephew or a cousin, whatever it is. So these are some of the things. So actually, moments of connection are often moments that help us to bring that kind of a happy feeling. It can be something else if you have trouble bringing up some kind of memory. Also, you can think of something that really makes you smile when you see that. So like if you see puppy blooper videos on Instagram and that makes you smile, that's fine. So what you want to do is we'll just take a couple of minutes, and I want you to go to that memory, that that image that makes you happy, and I want you to take that uh, feeling. Right, you will normally, when we are really happy. So all feelings that we have, all emotions that we have, they have a physical correlate. Right. So when you feel fear, you will feel something along your spine. If you look down from a great height, you will feel something in your gut. Right. So like that, this kind of feeling you start feeling in your chest, right? So that if you really think about that memory, you will find that you had a warm, fuzzy feeling in your heart or chest, right? So uh, try to bring that and place that feeling in your heart. So we'll just take a couple of minutes. You can use more than one memory to bring up that feeling. And once that feeling is there, just bring it up in your chest and wish it for yourself. Okay. So just bring up that feeling, wish it for yourself, And you can use a few phrases. May I be happy, may I be at ease, may I be calm, may I be well, anything that resonates with you. Okay. So you can use a few of these phrases. Don't use it as a mantra. It's not a mantra, it's not a chant. You're just supporting that wish, right? So that feeling that you're sending to yourself, just support that wish by few silent verbalizations. So in your mind, you can say, may I be happy, may I be peaceful, may I be calm. So we'll just take a couple of minutes. Just close your eyes, smile. This is a prerequisite for this practice. Smile. Okay. Now go to a happy memory in your life, a time that you were really content, joyful, at ease, with no complaints with the world. Now take the feeling that you felt then, right? Bring up that feeling. It'll be a warm, fuzzy feeling in your chest. Bring that feeling and wish that for yourself. Wish for yourself that you should feel the way you did at that time. Happy, peaceful, calm. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be at ease. May I be joyful. May I be happy. May I be at ease. May I be joyful. Now open your eyes gently. Okay, so you will have some time to explore this, but I hope most of you were able to at least get a glimpse of that feeling and wish that for yourself. We'll spend time cultivating this more. Okay. Just make sure that it's a genuine wish, right? So even before you sit, give yourself permission to be happy for the duration of the sitting. That's something wonderful about this practice. And it is not just sentimental or feely goody talk. It's not just about that. So all the latest science talks about how the feelings or like loving kindness, forgiveness, compassion, these actually make fundamental changes to our mind as well as body. Okay. And these bring our mind out of a state of completely continuously worrying about what's next or what do I have to do next, and actually allow you to take in the larger picture, take allow yourself to create some distance between yourself and your thoughts and understand what's happening. So wish yourself genuinely. Don't use rely on the phrases, rely on that may I be happy only. Just wish yourself deeply, genuinely well. I'm sure of all the people in the world, you would agree that you should be the first one invested in your happiness, right? So we'll start with that. So we'll do this for the first 10 minutes, okay? And after 10 minutes, this feeling we'll send to a friend, okay? So we've got to fill in our belly a bit first so we can be generous. And after we've done that for around 10 minutes, we will send the same feeling to a friend. So I just want you to pick out a friend, and for the duration of this retreat, so till unless I ask you to make some change, we will stick to one friend. So choose one friend that you find it very easy, very natural to wish well, right? That friend comes and you have a smile on your face, right? You have a feeling of goodwill. You respect them, and you know that they have feelings of goodwill towards you too. So choose a friend like that, and just a few restrictions. So don't choose somebody who's unwell, or somebody who's in your family, or somebody that you're physically attracted to, because because you'll be spending some time with a friend, and if there is anything, if they're part of the family, if there is some attraction, if there is some health issue, so your mind is going to wander towards that as you spend time with your friends. So choose someone that you naturally, typically people choose their best friends, one of their best friends, or people choose somebody that they really respect and look up to, somebody maybe helps them out always, may not necessarily be a close friend, but maybe somebody who always there to help, always has your back, kind of a thing. And sometimes if people have problems choosing someone like that, they choose someone distant, like like they say, the Dalai Lama or Bhante Ramsi. You can choose them. So it works well with somebody that you know and that you naturally have an affinity for. So I'll just stay quiet for a minute or so. I want you to just select that friend and choose one friend. It's okay. Don't feel like you're denying your other friends. We will expand our ability to be generous through the course of this retreat, right? So we just want to start with somebody that is easy, right? Uh, so let's start with that. So I'll just we'll take a minute and choose one friend that you feel is that you have no hesitation about sending your goodwill to. Okay. So I hope you have chosen your friend. If not, you can choose them later today or tomorrow. But once you've chosen a friend that you practice with, once you do your first sitting with, you will stick to them. Okay. And like I said, we are working on increasing our ability to have a feeling of goodwill towards others. So we'll get to all of your friends, all of your family eventually at the right time. We'll just start practicing with somebody that it is easy to feel this, right? So number one is me. Start with me, and then as you find, look for someone that it is easy to send to, and send that. Okay. So the same way that we send ourselves that wish, may I be happy, may I be calm, peaceful, at ease, whatever, use your own words, use words that resonate with you. Same wish now you'll send to your friend. Okay. May you be happy, may you be calm, may you be peaceful. And you can either visualize having your friend in your heart, or you can visualize like you're smiling and radiating that feeling to them. So if they were to come into the room and you have that, you send that wish of goodwill. So if you have any difficulty, think of somebody who doesn't like you at work or at home, and see what's the experience when you enter the room and they look at you with displeasure or they scowl, right? So you know what it means to send an intention, right? So the same way, you can imagine sending that goodwill or that feeling of, the feeling that you had in the past when you were really happy. First, you wish for yourself, you cultivated that feeling. Now you're sharing it with your friend, with somebody that it is easy to share with. So that's the next step. We'll take a couple of minutes since you have not filled your belly up with self love yet. So it might be a little weirder, but we'll just take a couple of minutes to test run this. As you start your practice, you'll find it easier to do. So we'll just take a couple of minutes, close our eyes, start with going to that memory, bringing up that warm, fuzzy feeling, and first sending it to yourself. May I be happy. May I be calm. May I be joyful. May I be at ease. May I be happy. May I be calm. May I be at ease. And now this feeling of happiness, of joy, of peace, I want to share with you, my friend. May you be happy. May you be at ease. May you be joyful. May you be happy. May you be at ease. May you be joyful. Now, as you're wishing your friend, you'll find that your mind has wandered away somewhere. You recognize that your mind has wandered away. It's caught up with a thought. Let it be. Don't go following that thought or fighting that thought. There'll also be some constriction, some tension that builds up in your mind when this happens. Just let that be. Relax. Smile and bring your attention back to your friend. May you be happy. May you be at ease. May you be full of joy. Okay, gently open your eyes again. I'm already buzzing with happiness. I don't know about the rest of you, but this practice, this feeling of loving kindness that we send to ourselves, that we send to our friend, that makes our mind open, spacious, and accepting, helps us to learn. So, as we go ahead, we'll learn more. So, we did one thing here. If you've gone through the prep kit, you will have a sense of what we talked about. So, this is called harmonious practice, also translated many times as right effort. So, what do you do when your mind goes somewhere? And you know this happens. Anytime you want to do something, your mind will go somewhere or the other. Whether it is something related to the news, something someone said, something that happened at home, something you have to do later, your mind will always go. We'll talk more about this, why, how this happens, and how it builds up, right? But this will happen even in the first 10 minutes that you, so first 10 minutes, you'll send this feeling to yourself, and then next 20 minutes, you'll send this feeling to your friend. Okay. This is an approximate time. You don't need to put an alarm. You don't need to open your eyes to look at the clock. So just when you feel that it is around 10 minutes, when you feel a little full with the love for yourself, you start sharing with your friend. Even in the first 10 minutes, almost immediately, a little while after you start, your mind will go to something or the other. What's happened yesterday? What's going to happen tomorrow? What's for lunch? What's for dinner? Something or the other. Okay. So we use a specific sequence of steps to bring our mind back. So it's not just that, okay, I want to fight this thought that has come up and I want to go back to what I was doing earlier. So there is a very specific way to do this. This is called the 6R. So this is something that it is described as right effort in the suttas as described by the Buddha. And for us to do it very correctly, so Bhante Vimalaramsi broke it down into 6 steps. Okay. The steps are there in your prep kit. We'll also be sending the beginning practice instructions today. It will be there as well. So the first step is recognize. So for us to actually start making the way back to what we were doing in the first place is the first step is to recognize that the mind has wandered away. Okay? We'll do that. Then we let that thought be. We don't go chasing after it. We don't fight with it. We don't get angry that it came up. We don't. So this is the nature of mind. Okay, this is not happening for the first time. This won't be the last time that it happens. Things will come up in your mind based on what the current state of mind is. Okay. Things will come up. What we want to do is not get annoyed, not chase after it. We know we were doing something else that was important to us. We're investing our time to do that. So we want to come back there. Whatever has come up, we just let it be. We don't fight with it. We don't chase after it. So the second step is release what has come up, let it be. Then the third step is very important. So there is every time our mind goes away with some thought, there is some tension and tightness that will build up in our mind. Okay. And we want to relax. We want to let this go. So just relax that tension and tightness that comes up in your mind. So this is the same thing as if you're, waiting to be to go into a job interview, for instance, right? And you're very nervous about it, and your mind is really tight, and then you do well and you come out. Right? At that time, your mind will feel very expansive and light. You almost feel physically light. So this is the tension and tightness that attaches our attention to any thought. Okay, and same thing can happen also after a argument. Your mind gets really wound up, really tight, and when you cool down after a while, your mind will feel open. And we have some other examples in the practice instruction as well. So you'll need to get a sense of it. Don't worry, it might seem alien, but over time, very easily, we find everybody gets familiar with it. Everybody knows this tension. It's just that we have never typically known what to do with it or when to do something with it. So you'll relax that tension and tightness. So recognize that our attention has gone away. Let that thought be. Relax the tension and tightness. Smile. Okay. Smile is like the beginning of your journey back to this happy place. Smile again. You might have forgotten to smile. Then you return to what you were doing. Return to the object of meditation. The object of meditation is something we use in any practice. There is an anchor. There is a place where you put your attention, and as it goes back and we bring it back to the anchor. Right? So the object of meditation is sending that wish to yourself or to your friend. So you come back there, and the sixth R. Okay, so we had recognize, release, relax, re-smile, return, and the sixth R is repeat. Repeat means that we keep our attention with the object, and anytime our mind drifts again, we just do the steps again. So repeat actually acknowledges the fact that this is going to happen again. So this is not a one-time thing that okay, I have this topic came up, now I have cleaned it out, it's never going to come again. So we're not doing it, deleting it permanently. It's going to come. It came up because it was you had some kind of importance that you attach in your mind to it. It came up, it will come again, right? So what we need to do is we need to use the 6 hours when this thought comes up and come back to what we were doing. Right? So because by coming back to what we're doing, we are first learning to recognize when our attention goes away. The second time is we are learning to stay with whatever we are doing, whatever is important, whatever we have identified as important for that moment. What is it that I want to be doing right now? So the 6 hours, again, this will be in your practice instruction. This is the called harmonious practice. This is something we use to bring our attention back to our object of meditation every time it goes away. So that's the basic practice. Okay. Start with that happy memory, bring up that feeling, wish it for yourself. After 10 minutes, wish it for your friend. Every time your attention goes to something unrelated, you use the 6 hours. Recognize that your attention has gone away. Release that thought. Relax the tension in your mind. Smile and come back to your object of meditation. Repeat it as many times as required. So that's the basic practice that we'll be doing. And just want to make a note. So if something comes up in the background, there'll be some chatter happening. If it doesn't take your attention away completely from your object, right, from your friend or from yourself, then you don't need to use the 6 hours. This is to be used when your mind completely gets caught up in some story. So you use the 6 hours, bring your attention back, and this is what we'll begin with. So tomorrow, I want you to kind of play around with a few things. So because you'll need to find a comfortable seat, right, and a comfortable place to sit. So whether it's on the floor, whether it's on a chair, whether it's on the bed, find something comfortable. Support your back if required. This is not a test of physical strength or endurance, right? So we want to be comfortable, but you want to be sitting in a kind of alert, dignified pose. You don't want to be falling off asleep, or so you want to be sitting in a way that your mind is alert. We all know what it means to be paying attention. When you're paying attention, you're not slouching, or you're not sitting in a weird position. So something that your mind thinks of as dignified, that your mind thinks of as alert. So take that kind of so you will find your space. You'll figure out that you forget to turn off your notifications. So just play around with those things. Make sure your environment is okay. and try and get in 2 sittings of 30 minutes each. The minimum is at least one sitting of 30 minutes. So after that, the weekend, I'm assuming everybody has kept free. So we will try to get more sittings in. But tomorrow is the try day. So you try out things, you figure out your space for walk. So the other thing that we'll do is we'll do a walking meditation. The same thing with a friend. You walk in a small space, 20 to 30 feet. Okay. You identify a space that is not threatened by traffic or anything. You walk to and fro. You keep your gaze around 6 to 8 feet in front of you. So you're not absorbing all of the environment. You walk back and forth and you send that feeling to your friend. May you be happy. Okay. And every time your mind goes away, you bring your attention back gently using the 6 hours. So this is getting us prepared to be able to use these skills in everyday life. So your sitting meditation doesn't become an escape from life, but it becomes the source of having well developed mental skills in the rest of your life. So walking meditation acts like a bridge. So at least one walking meditation of 15 minutes will be done. So just try out these things tomorrow, at least one sitting session of 30 minutes and one session of 15 minutes. So because the instruction is not to clear your mind, the instruction is not to be without thought, the instruction is simply to stay with your object till your mind wanders away. And when your mind wanders away, use the 6 hours and bring your attention back. So you should be able to do it for 30 minutes. Just determine to do it. If it helps, you can keep a clock in front of you. Can Your mind will start saying it is 30 minutes very quickly. So if you really feel it's 30 minutes, before moving your entire body, just you can open your eyes slightly, take a look at the time. If it is not 30 minutes, you can go back, right? It's very important not to move during this practice. So find a comfortable position. You can support your back. That's not a problem. So find a comfortable position. Don't move. If there is an itch, you use the 6 hours for that. If you feel some kind of pain somewhere, use 6 hours for that. So the likelihood is that you're not damaging your body. It's just something in your body will get amplified and distract you because you're not paying attention to it. Okay. So just see if you feel a pain and you see that you get up and you take 2-3 paces and it disappears, then it is just your mind amplifying some signal from the body. It's not damaging you, it's not hurting you, right? If you genuinely find that the pain is continuing after a few couple of minutes, then you will need to just find a more comfortable position to sit because your position might be hurting. So this is what we'll start with. We're going to have a lot of fun and we're going to learn a lot of things. And I promise you that you will really get to learn some amazing skills that confoundingly are missing in our fundamental education today. There are no money back guarantees because there is no value that you can place on this. There's no money for this course, right? So, but you are investing your time, and I can guarantee you that you'll get your time's worth by the end of the week. Okay, so that's the basic. All of this. So if you've not, made aggressive notes, if you've not followed all of what I said, don't worry. There'll be a set of instructions. Right. Tomorrow's main agenda is this: to go through the instructions, to be comfortable with that, to test it out. Okay. And I just want to comment on a couple of things. So what we'll do is throughout this course, throughout this retreat, we'll do one-on-one check-ins every day. Okay. So I'll discuss your practice with you. There are certain notes that we'd like you to take. So that's called out in the prep kit. Okay. And there will be check-ins that will be happening. So I'll send a Calendly link. So on this link, you can basically see the slots that are available. So I've made slots in India time. I've made slots available between 7 and 8 a.m., 1 and 2 p.m., and 6 and 7 p.m. from my time. So whatever suits you, you can select a 10-minute slot over there. We'll just check in and we'll see how your progress is happening and give you suggest what you should be doing next, whether there's something you need to change, whether you need to just sit for longer, whether you need to keep going. There is absolutely nothing to change. So that will be done in the one-on-one check-ins, and that will help you help to guide you through this process. Okay. Again, the details are there. I'll tomorrow. I will also cover exactly what I want you to start noting for the interviews. It's already there in the prep kit. You can take a look. Primarily, I'll be asking you how long you sat, how long your mind was with the object of meditation, and some of the experiences that you might have had. Okay. So just every time you sit, take a note of that. Note down how long you sat. Note down in your estimation how long your mind was with the object before it got distracted. So I want the maximum time that your mind stayed with the object without running away. So I want you to take a note of it. Estimates are okay. So take a guess on how long it your mind was with the object of meditation, and yeah, just take a note of that. We'll send you a link where you can book the slots for the interviews. We'll start the interviews from Saturday. So you'll start your practice tomorrow. No point of an interview tomorrow. We'll start the interviews from Saturday, and the interviews will start picking a momentum once you have started actually spending more time practicing. Second thing that we'll also start from Saturday is a morning group meditation. So group meditation is very good because that's it's good to see smiling faces. It's good to know that other people are waking up in the morning as well. So it's good for commitment. So we'll start at 6 a.m. We'll There's a morning routine that's been shared with you. So reciting the verses from the Dhammapad, the taking the refuges. So paying homage to the teacher whose teaching we are going to be imbibing over the next few days, and also to gratitude to the community that is keeping the teaching alive. And we'll also make a set of commitments about behaviors that will be helpful for us to go deep in understanding our mind over the next few days. Those are called the precepts. Again, that's been sent to you. So that's what tomorrow will look like. Just start understanding, get into the flow of what's happening, and review your prep kit. So I'll just share what I feel should be your agenda for tomorrow. Just give me one sec. Okay, so tomorrow I just want you to do the morning routine. It's in your prep kit. You'll find it in daily resources towards the end. Okay, go do the morning routine. Go through the prep kit and the practice instructions. Okay, if there are any doubts, you can drop us a note. You can send an email, or there is a form for your questions. You can drop it there. Try out the practice, both sitting and walking. Play around. We get your space kind of conducive for your practice. Figure out the times you want to practice, so other people around you can also cooperate with you. Start completely cutting off your digital media consumption, anything that is unnecessary. There may be things that you have to do for work or for at a personal level, but anything unnecessary, and I don't want anyone to pretend that they don't do unnecessary digital media consumption. So start cutting down on that. Okay, so that you're actually able to allow your mind to be still enough to learn from it. Okay, start taking notes on your practice. So we'll be doing it for the first time, might find it strange or weird. So just start doing that, and book your one-on-one check-in slots for Saturday and Sunday. So we'll send the link. So what we'll do is we'll send a couple of resources. We'll create a WhatsApp group for everyone, and we will send you the resources, any links. Okay, so that information will be there. and you can start booking your slots, or I will send a summary of the talks that we do daily. People who are in other time zones, we'll be recording these sessions and we'll also put them up on YouTube. So even people in the Indian time zone, if on some day it is difficult for you to be available at 8 p.m., right? So we'll put the videos up on YouTube, send you a link so you can catch up on it. Okay. And yeah, keep smiling. This is, it's unfortunate, but this is something that we need to really make a habit of more than we probably do. So start with smiling. Some of you might find your cheek hurts a little bit because you aren't used to smiling much, but that's not a terrible price to pay to have an uplifted mind, right? So start smiling again. You don't need to make people uncomfortable around you. A gentle smile is good enough. People around me are used to me smiling all the time, so now they've stopped getting weirded by it. So you can just keep something that is comfortable, appropriate for your environment, right? But in your mind, you should know you're smiling at yourself, at your friend, at the world. Okay, so just stick to that, and that's what we want to do. This day one, what you want to do for day one, we'll share over WhatsApp and get started. Questions can be put. Don't worry if all of this seems like a lot of information. You'll find your feet very, very quickly. You'll be surprised how easy and natural this seems, and look forward to have a lot of great progress. Okay, great. Any questions that anybody has for me? Anything that is particularly confusing?
Just a quick question. I think the morning routine, I'm assuming that's to be done individually, at least apart from the group meditation that's scheduled on Saturday.
That's for tomorrow. From Saturday onwards, every day we'll have a group meditation in the morning. We'll do this together. So taking the precepts and reading the verses, we'll be doing it together. So tomorrow you can do it on your own time. If someday you end up missing the morning session, the group meditation, try not to. But if it is unavoidable, then do the morning routine. It just sets a good mind frame for the rest of the day, right? So it is very important for that.
So just to make sure that I understood you correctly, tomorrow it's entirely self.
Yes.
Forward, it's going to be group meditation.
Yes, because you'll wake up and you realize there is something wrong at 6 a.m. I cannot turn the light on in this room or something. And I want you to figure that out so that you are able to be in time on Saturday at 6 a.m. so we can do the group meditation as a group without, having to make others wait. So that is one thing I'll request everyone. Please be on time for all the sessions. Be respectful of everybody around here. Okay. I hope that was helpful, Naresh. Great. Any other questions? Awesome. So looks like we have a wrap for the day. So please get started, start feeling things around. Make sure, I think we've called it out in the prep kit as well. What is important is planning your time. So figure out what times are good, what times you don't have commitments to others around you. So just plan your time so that you can actually get the most out of this retreat and the most out of this practice. Okay. So that's my suggestion to you. And yes, my request is that you start the smiling practice from now and see the difference that it will make in your life. Okay? And I'll catch you all tomorrow at 8 p.m. Okay. And we'll create the WhatsApp group. We'll send some useful information on that. Excellent. Have a lovely evening, afternoon, rest of the day, wherever you are.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for joining. We'll do quickly just before we end, we'll do sharing merit. Normally we do this after a Dhamma talk, but we'll start with this just to to set the tone from today. So I'll just share my screen again. It's a very quick little prayer for the well-being of others. So just like we are doing for ourselves and our friend. So this is a kind of wish that we give for all beings. Okay? So please unmute yourself and just join in with me. Okay. May suffering once be suffering free, and the fear struck fearlessly. May the grieving shed all griefs, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May enlightened beings of mighty power share in this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, everyone.